So yeah, today's the first day of fall. It's the autumn equinox. Some people, if you're a pagan or believe in like the wheel of the year, which I absolutely love following, some people consider it Mabin. It's pronounced, or the first day of fall. So equinoxes, kind of like it sounds, equinox is equal. So we're having equal light and dark, just about, relatively. The sun is almost directly lined up with the equator, which is why we get the half and half. And in the northern hemisphere here, it's the autumn equinox, and in the southern hemisphere, it's the opposite. It's the vernal or spring equinox at this time. I think it's so cool how the earth, even though we're having this season, it's always balanced, Southern hemisphere is kind of balancing us out with the spring. Yes, so this class was designed to mirror the energy of this time of year. And so that means first part will be kind of a gentle flow like class. We'll do some movement, and then the second half will be restorative. And if you haven't tried restorative yoga yet, get in the mood to relax. We will be using lots of different props. I hope you have some blankets and pillows and just like any kind of cushioning that you have. If you don't have pillows and blankets, maybe go grab some of those things now. I think the more the merrier when it comes to props. I like to go all out, get super luxurious with it. So, lots of blankets and pillows. And you'll hear me as we go. I have a bolster, which is a like specific yoga prop. But if you don't have a bolster, that is fine. You can use more pillows. So you'll hear me say maybe like bolster, pillow, blanket as we get into the restorative part, but I want you to feel super empowered to use whatever props that you have. It doesn't have to be the exact thing that I have. And another reminder that all of the suggestions that I have here throughout class are purely suggestions. You never have to feel like you're forcing yourself to do any of these movements. You are so very welcome to take different kinds of variations, skip things, add things in. It's all about you and your experience today. So just take it all like that, all suggestions. All right, I think that is about all I wanted to say for now. So unless anyone has any questions or anything they'd like to add or share, feel free to type in the chat, or if you'd like to unmute yourself and ask a question or say something, feel free to. Otherwise, I'm going to grab a sip of water. Maybe you would like to as well. And then we'll begin. One more note is that during restorative yoga, as we relax, sometimes your body temperature can lower too. So you might want to have a sweatshirt or like an extra blanket handy. If it was up to me, I think you'd all have like 10 blankets, 5 pillows, just like so comfy. All right, everyone, we're going to start today standing up. So go ahead and come to your yoga mat if you're not there already, or whatever space that you are in. And just for a couple moments, take a little bit of movement, just a little bit of shaking, a little bit of just coming to your space, finding what it's like to have your feet on your mat, on your floor. And then whenever it feels about right to settle in, we'll ground the feet down about hip-width distance apart, or maybe a little bit wider. So you can always choose as you go. And let your arms be nice and loose. With your inhale, let's lift the shoulders up by the ears. And exhale, lower them down and back. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, lifting your shoulders up. And exhale, letting them drift down and back. One more time. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, lowering. All right, we're going to do willow tree pose here first, which is one of my all-time favorite trees and favorite poses. So with your stance, shoulder width or hip width distance apart, let your arms be as loose as they can be, and just gently start to twist side to side, letting your arms be like willow branches, just swaying in the breeze. And you might, if you tend to get a little bit dizzy easily, I suggest keeping your gaze straight ahead. If you don't tend to get dizzy very easily and you want to experiment with going just a little deeper, you might look in the direction of your twist. You might also kind of keep a little bit of a buoyancy or a bounce to your knees as you twist. Just try to make it as natural as possible, just flowing side to side. Starting to warm up the spine and the arms a little bit. And then if it feels right to you, we'll start to bend the elbows at the end so that we end up kind of knocking the back and the side of your stomach as you twist. So just bending your elbows gently, letting your hands kind of knock gently on the torso. All right, when you feel like slowing down, let's start to slow down and come back to the center. And just give your hands a little bit of a shake, almost like you're trying to get something off of them, or like you're drying your hands, but there's no more towels left. A little bit of shaking there. Shaking is a really good way to release excess energy. Sometimes it can feel like, to me anyway, it feels like shaking kind of just like gets me into the next, ready for the next thing. Maybe you can think of it kind of as shaking off the summer slightly, helping yourself move into this new season. Go ahead and continue to shake a little bit through the shoulders, maybe through the rest of your body, maybe bouncing slightly up and down. No real rhyme or reason to it, just shaking however you feel. Whew. All right. Perfect. Okay, if your feet were a little bit wider, let's bring them to hip width distance apart. And if you're ever not quite sure where hip distance apart is, if you kick your butt a couple of times and let your feet settle back down, they like to settle at about hip width distance apart. And with an inhale, let's reach the arms up and overhead, stretching and reaching. Exhale, swan dive to forward fold. So with a swan dive, we're hinging at the hips. We're not rounding at the back. Arms are going wide. And just let your head and your arms hang there at the bottom for a moment. Take a couple of breaths here, maybe swaying a little bit in this variation of ragdoll pose. Make sure your breath is still present here. Maybe nod your head yes, shake your head no. You can always have a very deep bend in your knees. I can add another extra little flavor into it here. And then we'll walk the hands up the legs, slowly rising back up to stand. We're going to do a clearing breath with movement. So with your inhale, we'll reach back up high. With your exhale, we'll start to bend through the knees and then let your arms just kind of sweep down and back until you reach up behind you. With your inhale again, bending your knees, rising back up. Exhale, bend your knees, sweep on through. Inhale, rise. You choose your pace here as you continue on, inhaling to rise and reach. Exhaling to lower and sweep. Couple more times like that. Maybe you feel a little warmth building. I sure do. In with the new, out with the old. Maybe one more time here, and next time you reach up, we'll join the palms together overhead. And exhale to lower your hands down to heart center. If it feels comfortable to close your eyes, maybe close your eyes here. Take a couple of deep breaths as you tune into the sensations of breathing in this moment. Maybe noticing your heartbeat through your thumbs pressing into the center of your chest. Maybe you notice the temperature of your skin. If you'd like to set a dedication or intention for today's practice, feel free to bring something or someone to mind now. then we'll take 3 clearing breaths together as you're ready. Inhaling through your nose and sighing through your mouth. 2 more like that. Let's inhale through the nose. Sigh it out. 1 more time, in through the nose. Exhale, release. Start to blink your eyes open. And we'll start to come up to the tippy toes a couple of times here. So first we'll spin the palms to face the front of your space. Notice a little bit of opening through the front side of your chest, a little bit of a kind of a hugging of the shoulder blades behind you. With an inhale, let's lean forward slightly and then lift the heels up, coming up to the tippy toes. And really squeeze through the lower half of your body to help you stay lifted. And then exhale to lower back down. This one always seems like it's going to be a little bit easier than it tends to be sometimes. So don't worry if it's feeling a little challenging. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale to rise up to your tippy toes. And exhale to lower. 1 more time. Inhale to rise up. We'll stay lifted here if you want. For the exhale. Inhale, lift both arms overhead. And exhale, release the arms, heels back to the floor. All right, give it a little shake if you like. We'll come, we'll do 1 more standing pose here first. We're gonna do a little side bend to the right. So we have the option to keep the feet about hip width distance apart. Sometimes people like to cross the left ankle over the right foot. So you choose your variation there with the feet. With the inhale, let's lift the left arm high. And then exhale, side bend toward the right. Keep breathing here. Press down even more through your left foot. Feel the length through your left side. Keep breathing. With your next inhale, let's rise up to center. Both arms lift. Switch the cross of your legs if you're choosing to do that variation. And then exhale, side bend to the left. Left arm lowers, right arm reaches. Keep pressing down through both feet. Breathing in and out. Last breath in. Last breath out. Inhale, rise up, both arms lift. And exhale, lower your hands by your sides. All right, we're gonna come to the back of your mat. So we're facing the length of your mat. We're at the back side. Find the foot positioning that you prefer to start in as we begin to flow. If you're not sure what your favorite position is, it might be feet about hip width distance apart or slightly in. Maybe your big toes touch. I like to have some space between my heels. Everyone's anatomy is just so different, so you find your favorite position there. With an inhale, let's reach arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a big breath in here. With your exhale, we're twisting just through the upper body toward the right. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, twist just the upper body toward the left. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale here. Inhale, send both arms high, reach to the sky. Exhale, swan dive to forward fold. Bending your knees as you lower. Inhale, half lift, legs straighten, hands come to the knees, shins or thighs. Take like a half tuck of your chin so the back of your neck has lots of length. With your next exhale, let's lower the hands down to the floor, walk your way out to a high plank. When you arrive there, we're just gonna have 1 big breath in. Breath out, find your way to downward dog. We're lifting the hips. You can have a very generous bend of your knees here, or your legs could be a little straighter. Take a big breath in, come up to your tippy toes. Exhale, sinking the heels toward the floor. 2 more like that. Inhale to come up to the tippy toes. Exhale, sink through the heels. 1 more time. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, sinking to the heels. With your inhale, roll forward to your high plank again, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, lower your knees, and then lower your chest all the way down to the... Keep like normal and tuck your toes. The tops of your Slide your palms down so they're a little bit closer to your low rib cage. Hug your elbows in toward your sides. With your inhale, let's lift up to baby cobra using the strength of your core and back. So you're just lifting your head and your chest. Little to no help here from the hands if you can. We want to be strengthening the back. And then exhale to lower back down. Let's try that again. Inhale, lifting up to baby cobra. Pressing down through the tops of your feet so much that maybe your knees start to slightly lift up. And exhale to lower. One more time. Inhale, rising to your baby cobra. Feel your strength. And exhale, lower. Take a breath of rest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to press your way on up to tabletop, hands and knees. And exhale to child's pose. Arriving in child's pose, take a big breath in. Feel some expansion through your mid-back. Big breath out. Keep breathing here. I'll explain what we're going to do next, and then we'll move into it. So we're going to start doing some, they're called spinal waves. So I'll cue it here in a moment, but we're basically going to rise up with a cat back. So like leading with the shoulders, rounding the spine as we lift. And then once we get up there, we'll be going through cow back to child's pose. So let's give it a try together. With your inhale, start to rise up to tabletop, round your back, leading with your shoulders, cat back at the top. Exhale, cow, lowering the belly, lifting the gaze, and then gliding on back to your child's pose. Let's do that again. Inhale, rise up with the cat back, rounding through the spine. Exhale, cow, lowering the belly, lifting the gaze, and then leading with your tailbone back to child's pose. One more time. Inhale, rise up, cat back. Exhale, cow to child's pose. Stay here in child's pose for another breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, rise up, tabletop. You are so welcome to stay here for a couple rounds of cat and cow, or join me in downward dog. We'll curl the toes under. You're always welcome to use your blocks here too, underneath your hands. I love that for a downward dog. Either way, fingertips spread out wide, curling the toes under, and then sending the tailbone back and up. Big breath in. And out. Inhale. And exhale. Last breath in. Breathing out. Inhale, bend deeply through your knees, look to your hands. And then exhale to walk your hands to the back side of your mat. Forward fold at the back. Inhale, halfway lift. Find that little tuck of your chin so your back of your neck has length. Exhale, fold, softening or bending through your knees as you release forward. Make solid connection through the bottoms of your feet, pressing the floor away. Take an inhale as you rise all the way back up, reaching your hands together overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll be here for just a couple of breaths, finding your center, if you will. Maybe noticing any signs or signals from your body, your temperature, your heartbeat. Coming back to your intention if you set one today. And if you haven't set one, maybe you repeat to yourself, I flow with the seasons. Let's take a clearing breath. Inhale through your nose. And sigh it out. Inhale, reach both arms high, opening your eyes if they were closed. Exhale, open arm twist toward the right. So the left arm reaches forward, right arm reaches back. Breathe here. Notice how the upper body is spinning toward the right. See if you can kind of counter spin your hips toward the left. One more breath in. And out. Inhale, come back up to center. We're switching sides. Exhale, open arm twist toward the left. Breathing here again, noticing the upper body twisting to the left, lower body twisting toward the right. One last breath in and breath out. Inhale, come back to the center, lifting both arms high, unwind. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower your hands to the floor, walk your way all the way out to high plank. You can always lower your knees here if you'd like. We'll just have one big breath in. And exhale, lower your chest to the floor. On toes, we'll do 3 more rounds of our baby cobra today, so sliding the palms back. With your inhale, lifting your head and chest, using the strength of your spine and core. You might even hover your hands up off of the floor if you like. Really helps to press more into the tops of your feet. And then exhale to lower. 2 more like that. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale to lower. One last time. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale to lower. Take a breath of rest at the bottom. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, press your way on up to tabletop, hands and knees. And exhale to child's pose. Take a breath in, feel that expansiveness through your mid-back or wherever you're feeling it. Big breath out, softening toward the floor. Let's do those spinal waves again here. With your inhale, let's rise up to tabletop with a cat surrounding on your way up. Exhale, cow pose, belly lowers, gaze lifts, and then slide on back to child's pose. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, rise up, cat back. Exhale, cow to child's. One more time. Inhale, rising up, cat back. Exhale, cow to child's pose. Staying in your child's pose when you arrive for at least 1 more big breath in and back out. Inhale, rise up 1 more time to tabletop. You can always stay here for cat and cow if you want a little more of that. Otherwise, let's find our way to our last downward facing dog here. So curling the toes under, picking up the knees and sending the tailbone high. And breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out. Last breath in. Last breath out. With your inhale, bend through your knees, look toward your hands. Exhale, walk your hands to the back of your mat, forward fold at the back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees as you fold again. Press down through the bottoms of your feet. Take a big breath in as you rise all the way back up. And join your palms together overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a couple of moments here, coming back to your heart center. Maybe closing your eyes so you can really feel whatever it is you're feeling. If you don't want to feel what you're feeling, maybe you have your eyes open and you find something interesting in front of you as you listen to the sounds of your breath. And then let's take a clearing breath as we move along, inhaling through your nose. Big sigh to release. Let your arms come down by your sides. I'm going to come to the middle of my mat. We're going to do a little bit of balancing here. You can come to the middle, wherever you feel comfortable. Highly recommend having a wall or a chair or something close by, especially if you're feeling a little wobbly today, or for any reason, really. So feet will be about hip width distance apart here. We're going to move through one-legged mountain pose to airplane pose. I'll show you what that's like, and then we'll get into it. I'll describe it as we go. So I like to have my hands at my heart, but you can have them anywhere you'd like. Let's find one-legged mountain pose with that right knee lifting. You can keep your right toes down on the floor here for some extra support. This is totally one-legged mountain pose. Or you might flex your right foot and then lift your right knee to about hip height. If you feel steady there, that's a good option for you, but you can always come back down anytime. And then we will transition to airplane pose. So we'll release the arms, start to reach the arms back, slide your toe across the floor, or keep it lifted, your choice. Right toes might come behind you. Hug your shoulder blades together behind your back, so you're reaching back toward your heels. If you're feeling good here and you want to go a little deeper, you might start to lean forward as you start to lift that right foot up behind you. Let's take one more breath in and breath out. With an inhale, rise back up to one-legged mountain pose if you can, keeping that right knee lifted. Exhale here. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale, your version of airplane pose. One more breath in. Breath out. Bring that right foot back down to the floor. Give your standing leg, your left leg, a little shake. Maybe some congratulations for holding you up. And then we'll switch sides. So shifting all your weight this time to the right leg. Let's find one-legged mountain pose with the left knee lifting. Your choice again, toes down or up. Getting your bearings here. Take a breath in. Exhale, airplane pose. Arms reach back, left toes to the floor behind you, or continue to lift as you lean forward. Just about one more breath in. And out. Inhale. Do your best to rise up to one-legged mountain pose with the left knee lifting. Exhale, staying right here. Wobbling is a good sign. Remember, we're strengthening. One more breath in. Exhale, airplane pose. Last time. Take a big breath in. Hug your shoulder blades together behind you. Big breath out. Release your foot back to the floor. All right, give your standing leg a little shake. We're going to come down to the floor and find a comfortable seat. I highly recommend sitting up on something, maybe a bolster, pillows, blankets, what have you. So build yourself a little seated nest here. And there we go. So coming to your seat. If it's not comfortable to sit cross-legged, a couple of good tips would be to grab a blanket or some pillows, maybe roll them up, give your legs a little extra something to rest on. If you have yoga blocks, maybe your blocks come under your knees. All right, once you feel comfortable, take all the time you need as you get seated. We're going to do a couple rounds of alternate nostril breathing, or 𝗕𝗟𝗔𝗡 Shavasana. And with the balance of the equinox of light and dark, yin and yang, there are different elements that some say correspond to different sides of the body. So the left side of your body is considered more of that yin or dark or winter or autumn kind of side. And then the right side is more of that summer, sun, yang side of things, like the active side. So it's receptive and active. So as we do our alternate nostril breathing, we can kind of imagine that we're meeting these two elements, these two sides, light and dark, at the center. And the center will be our third eye center today. So this is like the equinox spot for us as we balance. So this breath is meant to balance the hemispheres of the brain, the sides of the body, and today also balancing this pinnacle of autumn and summer right there at the meeting point. So you can use your hands to actually close your nostrils if you feel comfortable touching your face. I'll show you how to do that, but you don't have to. You can imagine that you're breathing in through one nostril and out the other, even if you don't fully believe you're doing it 100%, that's okay. So real or imagined, they're both working equally well. So if you would like to block the nostrils, we'll take the right hand. Our peace fingers, the pointer, middle finger, those two will be down. The rest of the fingers and the thumb will be up. The palm will face the face. And the thumb will be on the right nostril. The other fingers will be on the left nostril. And right now, just keep it open. I'll explain the breath and then we'll get into it. So basically we're gonna inhale through one side and imagine the air coming in and then all the way up to your third eye center, and then exhale out the opposite side. So I was gonna be making this kind of V-like shape, in through one nostril, out the other, in through that nostril, out the other. So if you're ready to join me, we'll block off the right nostril first, the sun side, the summer side. Take a breath in through your left nostril and imagine it coming up to third eye center. Option to close your eyes. Switch and exhale out of the right nostril. Inhale right. Switch. Exhale left. Staying here. Inhale left. Switch. Exhale right. Inhale right. Switch. Exhale left. Inhale left. Switch. Exhale right. Inhale right. Switch. Exhale left. Inhale left. Switch. Exhale right. And release your hand back down to your knee. Take a couple of moments to breathe here. Notice any responses from that breathing pattern that you're having with your body or your breath. All right, let's take a clearing breath now, inhaling through your nose and then sighing it out. All right, blinking your eyes open if they were closed. All right, we are all set for our restorative yoga time here. If there are any last little movements, twists, turns, or stretches that you want before we find some stillness, go ahead and move into those now. Otherwise, let's get all set up for our first pose. I like to have a kind of a rectangle-like shape, so maybe if you have a smaller pillow or like a flatter pillow or a blanket, maybe start to fold it up into a rectangle-like shape now. We're going to move that bolster to the side. So our first prop, this rectangle blanket, will go, it's going to be right under our upper kind of back. We're going to make a little spot for our shoulders between this blanket and then a pillow. So I don't have a pillow with me today, so I'm just going to use another blanket up there underneath my head. So maybe two pillows here, maybe two blankets. We just want to have like a channel in between them so that eventually our shoulders will rest below us. And when you're ready, then just sit in front of that first rectangle blanket. You're going to want to have your bolster, pillows, blankets, just other props here on the right side by your leg. We're going to do restorative tree pose here in a moment. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to set up. When you're ready, start to lower your way down onto your first pillow here or blanket. And then the other one goes underneath your head. And really make sure your head and your neck have enough support. You might take a couple of different movements or adjustments for this one underneath your mid-back as well. Make sure you're comfortable. Our first pose is restorative tree pose. So we're going to bend that right knee and then let the right knee come out toward the right side. You might have your right leg resting up on a bolster or on some blankets or pillows. If your hips are super open, maybe you have a little less support underneath you. We really want to get comfy. Some people like to have extra padding underneath the left knee as well, having a little bit of a bend through that left knee. So try it on for size here for a moment. Maybe the arms come out wide to a T. Maybe you find that resting your hands on your low rib cage or your hip points feels better. We want to start to feel as comfortable as you possibly can. So take your time getting into this restorative tree pose. I am going to start a little bit of music here for our journey. There we go. We're gonna be here for about 6 minutes or so. So try not to worry about the time. I will mind the time. Just know we will be here for a while. So if at any time you start feeling uncomfortable, please go ahead and just take an adjustment right away. Discomfort tends to grow in poses like this instead of lessen. So the sooner you catch it, the sooner you get a little extra comfy, the more time you'll have to relax. And remembering that the right side of the body is kind of the summery, sunny side of things. I'm going to go through a little guided meditation on both sides. So closing your eyes if that feels okay to you. Begin to imagine that you're walking into a summertime forest. Everything green and alive and lush. Maybe you even notice some flowers. What do you hear in your summertime forest? As you walk into this forest, imagine a beautiful tree just ahead. This tree embodying the fullness of summer, the lushness, the green, the life. What does your tree look like? What does summertime smell like? And imagine walking just a little closer and closer until you can reach out a hand and touch the tree. Notice what you're imagining it feels like, the bark, the leaves. And once you're acquainted with your tree, imagine yourself finding a comfortable seat. And you're in luck because you have remembered to pack all of your favorite summertime snacks and drinks. When you pick up your favorite summertime drink, notice what it is. And if you can, imagine the taste. Maybe you imagine that summertime drink's taste. You sit, sipping your summertime refreshment. You notice the wisdom of the forest. Everything seems to have the timing just right. Somehow the winters can take take all those leaves away, and now is the time for blooming and life in the summertime. And the trees don't ask why, they just know this is the cycle of life. As you imagine looking around in your forest, what other lessons is the forest wanting to teach you? Breaths here. Right. Go ahead and begin to straighten your right leg, pushing the props aside slightly. We'll reach the arms up and overhead for a long body stretch. And as if you are moving in sleep, we'll slowly begin sit up just enough to bring that bolster or prop to the other leg, to left side, and right away lowering yourself back down. Start to bend your left knee and then let your knee open up toward the left side, taking all the time and adjustments you need in order for this side to feel comfortable with the left knee up on some props. Maybe your arms come back out to a T, or maybe you decide to take a different arm variation, perhaps goalpost or cactus arms with the elbows bent and your hands kind of up to the sides. Know that you can have your arms and your body in any which position that you so choose, so make sure you're feeling comfortable and feel free to edit as you go. And then we're heading back into our imagined forest. This time the left side of the body, the autumn side, the lunar side, the slower side. So imagine now that you're able to watch your forest like a time lapse of summer coming to a close and autumn just beginning. What does it sound like as the seasons change? Do you notice in an autumn forest? And take another look at your tree. This time you might notice the leaves changing color. colors can you see? And what does autumn smell like in the forest? And as you're set to greet this new season, imagine that again you packed a picnic basket full of all of your favorite autumn drinks and snacks. Carefully opening up your picnic basket, notice, what did you bring? What kind of treats, drinks are inside? And can you imagine the tastes and smells and textures of each treat? What lessons are in store for this time of year? What is it that nature wants to remind you of? Which parts of you are ready for autumn? Which leaves are ready to fall? Which leaves need a little more time to hang on? Just about 3 last breaths. When you're ready, we'll slowly start to help that left knee back up. And then straighten both legs, reaching your arms up and overhead for another long body stretch. Maybe yawning or sighing. Start to roll over onto your right side, coming to the fetal position. We'll use the help and strength of the hands to help you sit up just for a moment. You're going to bring a bolster or pillow or blankets to the bottom of the mat, the bottom edge, and then start to lay right back down into the fetal position. We'll use that prop in just a bit. The right arm reaches straight out to the right side. You might want to adjust your pillow a little bit so your head feels supported. And stack your left hand on top of your right hand. We'll reach the left fingertips just beyond the right fingertips so you feel some opening and stretching between your shoulder blades. And like you're moving in sleep again here, let's start to pull the left hand back across your right arm, across your collarbones, and your version of all the way open. Take a moment to feel this open arm twist. And then when you're ready, we'll close it back up, bending your left elbow, bringing your left fingertips to your left shoulder. Slide the fingers across your collarbones and then all the way back down your right arm until your hands meet again. Let's do that a couple more times at your own pace, again like you're moving in sleep. Just letting your head kind of follow along, opening the arms. Linger here if you'd like, or continue to move, closing back up. Next time your arms are outstretched, open arm twist, we'll meet there. Taking a deep breath in when you arrive. And a deep breath out. Slowly start to turn onto your back, so your knees will come up to the center, kind of scooting your way over that middle blanket, and then turning onto your left side, coming back to that fetal position, this time on the left. Once again, the right hand now will stack on top of the left. Reach your right fingertips just beyond your left fingertips until you feel some stretch happening between the shoulder blades. When you're ready, pull your right hand back across your left arm, across your collarbones, and your version of all the way open. Making sure you're nice and comfortable. And when you're ready, if you like, we'll bend the right elbow and bring the right fingertips to the right shoulder. And then slide the hand across your collarbones and all the way back down your left arm. Go ahead and move like that a few more times if you wish. Or linger in any of the positions throughout this movement. And next time you are in an open arm twist, let's just meet there. Taking at least one more deep breath in. And out. This time we're going to close back up, so sliding the hand across your collarbones and all the way back to the left side. We're going to start to turn onto the stomach. So for some people, this blanket underneath the belly might feel a little bit too much. If you've had any abdominal surgeries, hernias, or any kind of injuries or anything going on there, you might not. I would suggest not having the blanket underneath your stomach. But certainly you don't have to have any of those things going on to choose not to have that there. We're going to find a restorative crocodile pose. My favorite way to support my head in this position is taking a blanket and then rolling it up. So it's kind of a tube-like shape. Actually, I'm going to do the long way here. So I'm just rolling that up. I like to make kind of a U out of it, like a face cradle if you've ever had a massage. Kind of making a shape like that to support the head. Alternatively, some people like to have something underneath the chest as well. Our feet will be up on that bolster at the end of your mat if it's still there for a little more support. I like to wrap my arms around the blanket or the pillow up top and then rest my head down into the blanket here, but some people like to have their hands down by their sides or even out to the sides in some way. So again, notice here if you're feeling comfortable. If you're not feeling as comfortable as you possibly can, go ahead and take more adjustments. Because again, this one's not going to start feeling better with time. Sometimes it gets just more uncomfortable. So take those adjustments. We're not going to be here as long as we were in the other poses. When you feel set up here, notice how this position makes you feel. It said that downward facing positions or prone facing positions are a really good way to turn inward. And so we can use this pose to honor and notice the in-between moment that we're at here on the equinox. Right in between seasons. Notice the parts of you that want to move with the growing darkness that fall brings. Night by night, our days get shorter, the nights get longer. So noticing these parts of you that also want to move in that direction of darkness, stillness. Which parts of you are yearning for stillness, for rest, for change? Noticing and softening your jaw, your shoulders, your face. Of your body with any tension, maybe experimenting with a long exhale to soften even just 5% more. Slowly starting to plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Start to press your way on up to a tabletop position, hands and knees. Take a couple couple of moments here to explore some very slow cat and cows. So with your inhale, lowering your belly, lifting your gaze and your tailbone, finding cow. And exhaling to cat, tucking your tailbone and your chin as you round up through your spine. Slowly inhaling back to cow pose with the gaze lifting. And exhaling to cat. Keep flowing at your own pace here, taking some extra time to notice the in-between. Not quite cat, not quite cow. What is that space like? When you feel like you've had enough of cat and cow, we'll find an extended child's pose. We'll bring the knees out wide toward the edges of your mat. Start to sink your seat toward your heels. You might even bring that bolster in between your heels and your seat for a little more support as you walk your hands toward the top edge of your mat. And then sink your head and your heart down toward the floor. Notice as your belly expands and widens with your inhales as you draw the air down to the lowest part of your lungs. Exhale as you let the earth come a little closer. 2 more nice slow breaths here. One more breath. Take your time as you start to walk your hands back in, coming to tabletop. We're gonna set up for our Deluxe Shavasana, as I like to call it. I like to have a bolster underneath my knees, a pillow underneath my head, blankets, whatever you have. So something under your head, something under your knees if you like. And if you tend to get a little chilly, or if you just prefer to be a little warmer, maybe grab a blanket that you can cover yourself up with as you get settled in. So the knees will have a little support here. And then lying down, make sure that your head and your C7, that vertebrae, that first one that kind of sticks out at the base of your neck, make sure that that spot has some support. And taking all the little adjustments that you want. Maybe covering yourself up or part of yourself up with a blanket. Finding some position and placement for your hands and your arms. Maybe your arms are out wide again or down by your sides. Maybe your hands come to your hip points or your low rib cage or somewhere in between. Notice if it feels like there's any effort required of you to be in this position. And if so, I invite you to experiment with supporting those areas. If your arms need a little more cushioning underneath them, or if your head needs to be a little higher, go ahead and move a little bit until you find that sweet spot for your Deluxe Shavasana. And today I have a reading that I've altered slightly from Tracy Stanley's book, Radiant Rest. And this is her householder's prayer. some slight modifications from me to reflect the season. The altar is in my heart. The sun and the moon are my gurus. I trust the earth to support me. And each time I close my eyes, I enter the void. My heart is the portal to my sacred cave. I whisper the names of the divine as I prepare my meals. I notice the flow of my beloved's breath as they fall asleep. And I synchronize my breath to the flow of love. I place a blessing in the pause between the breaths and between the seasons. I hold the power to create a new reality with every thought and every season. I honor the silence as a blessing. I explore who I am and who I am not in the mirror of relationships. I question my beliefs with curiosity and courage. I honor my ancestors. I lay down all self-doubt with compassion and forgiveness. I remember the light of my soul as I enter autumn's darker and darker nights. I recall the beauty of truth as I transition from summer to fall. I know the vibration of truth. I remember that nothing is mundane. I honor the power of the transition as a portal to transformation. Everything is an offering, and my life is a sacred ritual as the wheel of the year turns on. are so welcome to stay right here and rest as long as you need or want. There's no need to get up sooner than you wish. But if you are ready to move along, start to deepen your breath as you bring small, tender movement back into your fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. You might open and close your jaw, swallow or yawn on your way to another long body stretch, reaching arms and legs in opposite directions. And then choosing either side to roll onto, sliding any props to the side, coming to the fetal position on either side. Take a moment in this transition pose for one more breath in and out. In your own timing, start to use the help and strength of your hands and arms to press your way on up to a comfortable seat. Maybe hugging a pillow or any other props that you have close by. We'll join palms together in front of the heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Together we can bring our thumbs up to the third eye center, the seat of intuition, just above and between the eyebrows. And in a little gesture of gratitude, if it feels right to you, let's take a little bow forward together now. Peace.